Hi all, my name is Gaurav. In previous video, we talked about the dependency injection and the constructor level dependency injection. Okay, so in this video, we'll target method level dependency injection. Don't worry, I'll share those blog links in the video description as well. So let's take a scenario. So let's say you are planning to travel. Okay, so I'll take my example. I am from India, Uttar Pradesh, and I am planning to travel from Uttar Pradesh to Kashmir. Okay. So Uttar Pradesh is a bit hotter place, and Kashmir is actually a place where we have a snow, cold weather conditions. So now I'm planning. I am also fond of beverage. So probably in UP I would prefer cold drinks, and when I'll go to Kashmir I'll prefer kahwa. Kahwa is a famous drink in Kashmir. It's like a Kashmiri tea. Okay, so what I need when I'm planning my travel, I need probably location service. For example, Google Map, through which I'll navigate, and then I am fond of beverage, so I like beverage as well. The only thing is location service I require throughout my journey. Probably all beverage I don't require throughout my journey. I'll get those on demand. So probably kava when I'll reach Kashmir, then only I'll ask for kava. Before that, probably I'll need simple water or cold drink, something like that. Okay. So basically, the things which we require throughout the journey, those things, those dependencies qualify for the constructor level injection. So in our case, this travel program, location service required throughout the journey. So location service qualifies for the constructor level injection. Other service, probably I'm consuming a weather service. I need to get the weather, okay, whether it's a cold or it's a hot. Accordingly, I'll decide my beverage. What should I take? But that is on demand totally. Okay, so let's see it programmatically how it will work. So I have a class weather service. Okay, since this weather service has a property variable is cold, which basically told us okay whether is cold or hot. Then we have a location service, okay, which is similar to which provides a navigation to us. The code is totally dummy, okay. This is just for the demonstration purpose. So now we are talking about this location service we require throughout our journey. So this qualifies for the constructor level injection. How to do a constructor level injection? We'll say private final location service and we'll create a location service variable. Good. Okay. Okay. Now this dependency we need to inject at constructor level. My travel program require this location service throughout. So what I'll say, I'll create a constructor of travel program, and inside that I'll pass location service. Perfect. And here I'll initialize location service. Okay, so I initialize this location service. We are good. Now this weather service I require on demand whenever I need it, not throughout the my journey. So what I'll do, I'll create and so this qualifies for the method level injection. So what I'll do, I'll create, let's say, suggest drink, and inside that I'll create a method suggest drink, and inside that I'll pass a why it is not coming. Oh, sorry, my bad. Weather service. Okay. Now I'll say if weather service dot is cold, try kahwa, else try let's say cold drink. Perfect. So we got this. Now I need to utilize this. So how to utilize this? So let's say I have a main function. I'll say travel program is equal to new travel program. So as you see, after and when I create an object, I know I need to pass a location service object. Okay, so I'll pass this new location service. Now this location service object is ties with the whole life cycle of this object. Okay, at some later point of time, I need, let's say, a cold drink or kava. So probably then I can call this travel program dot suggest drink, and suggest drink clearly says that you need to pass a object of weather service. So now I require weather service object. So I'll pass a weather service object. Okay. So that is how it will work. If I run it, so I get that. Okay. So this is a method level injection. Now there are two type of method level injection as well. So here if you see, I have this method directly I passed a dependency over there. There might be other scenario as well, other not scenario, basically there might be other implementation as well of a method level injection, which is via setter methods. Okay, so I had one more class, let me see. Yeah, so let's say, let's take another example. So I am working on an e-commerce application. Basically e-commerce application, we mostly work on the order, customer place an order, then that it has a order life cycle, like quantity would be selected, then product would be selected, quantity would be selected, then add to cart, then finally payment would be happening. Okay, so for that I created a dummy class, let's say order, which has different attribute like quantity, product name, price, order id. Okay, and then some logic would be there to create order. Then I have a payment service which is basically responsible to process the payment, right? And it has a process payment function. And this process payment function take the order object. Okay. Now we have a order service as well. Now this order service is dependent on the payment service. Okay. So once user does all the things, add to cart and clicks on the make payment, a pay button, then this payment service gets called. So basically at some point of time when user hits the make payment, then only it is required. So let's try to do it with the method level injection. Inject this payment service into order service because order service requires payment service. So we'll inject this payment service into order service via method level injection, but this time we will use the setter method. Okay. What does it mean? It means we'll say public. Okay, let's create first dependency payment service. My bad. Okay, let me copy payment service. I'll say private payment service and payment service. Okay, this is my dependency. Now somewhere I need to initialize it. So I'll say public void set payment service, and here I'll pass the payment service variable. Now I'll say here I'll initialize this dot payment service is equal to payment service. So I initialize this payment service object. Okay. Now there is one more function. Let's say public void process order, which again takes which order you need to process, and then it has all the steps like full product, full order, not product, full order from card, and then it calls the payment service dot process payment. That is how it works. Okay. Now let's say if I need to call it, so how do I need to do? I need to create a class. So I'm in which class? I'm in a class of circular dependency. Okay. So I'll create a class. Let me, okay, let's say I'll create another class. Let's say class demo. And here I have a public static void main. Okay, so here what I'll do, if I need to process order, first I need to create a order. Okay, so I'll say order is equal to new order. I got the order. Now I'll say order service. Order service is equal to new order service. Okay. Now I need to call the process order. So I'll say order service dot process order and I'll pass the order. Okay. Let's see what happens if I run this. Okay. I need to use this class only. Refactor, rename. I'll say this. I'll say public perfect and say run Java. So it gave me null pointer exception. And at what point it gave me null pointer exception? This. Reason is this basically if I go here. Why it gave me null pointer exception? Because payment service is null. To make process order successful, first we need to call the function order process order service, this function dot set payment service. So I'll say dot set payment service and here I'll pass the explicitly the payment service object. If I run it now, so you see this executed successfully. So basically now we saw direct method injection in the method and via setter method. Okay, so in setter method the problem is that we need to take care of sequence, correct? So we need to make sure that setter method must be called first before the dependency we are using the dependency. So process order is using the dependency payment service, so we need to make sure that set payment service should be called before that. So that's a one problem. If we don't call, it will give us a null pointer exception. Second thing, that this visibility is hidden. I mean, as a user, probably I might not be aware. Okay, when I call the process order, when I'm using this function, once I get the exception or thing, so then I came to know, okay, this should be called first. Okay, so these are the some drawbacks of the method level injection. Okay, we'll talk about more in detail pros and cons of method level injection versus constructor level injection. But for now, yeah, this is all. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye.